friends. Welcome, welcome. Have you ever felt like success is really, really, really far away? Or it seems like, you're on this journey and success, you just can't seem to get there? Well, I remember feeling exactly that way. But I also remember the aha moment that I had when I realized that I was the one standing in my own way of success. So, welcome to Thursday's training. And today we are going to talk about 10 belief shifts that will help you reach your inevitable success. And I believe success is inevitable for everybody. We all deserve success. And once you know what success looks like, it is easier to get there. So today is Thursday's training. Welcome. If you are here, you know the drill. Hashtag live or hashtag replay. And I am, for those of you who are joining me and who are new to my world, welcome. I'm Diana Lidstone, and in the 35 years of being a business owner and working with coaches and consultants and business owners in more than 50 different industries, I've come to realize that one of our biggest roadblocks to our own success is our self-doubt that we are not an expert, and that big success just isn't for people like us. So today I decided to pull back the curtain and talk to you about 10 belief shifts that I have worked on that has helped me bring my success more closer. That's not very good English, is it? Anyway, so I want to be clear on three things. First of all, shifts don't happen overnight. They just don't. It takes time. It's a process, and it finally comes along. The second thing I want to talk about shifts, belief shifts, is that I've never done it on my own. Growing a business isn't something, yes, you may be the CEO of your business, but to reach success, we rarely do it on our own. And the third thing I want to share with you is that at each new level of success, we get challenged again. So, as you might think that, well, I have this particular belief, maybe it's about money, and maybe you raise your prices, you reach those price levels, you reach that, and you go along, but to reach the next level of success, maybe you have to raise your prices again. And guess what? That's when you've got to work on those beliefs again. So welcome to those who are here today. Hashtag live if you are live with me, or hashtag replay. And please share in the comments you are here, and say hello and let me know where you are calling in from. Woohoo! So excited to bring this to you. You got your piece of paper out? Because we're going to talk about 10 belief shifts and share your thoughts. And my intention is to have a conversation with you, is to help you identify maybe one or two of these that you might be able to work on going forward so that you can move your journey to success along even faster. So hello to those of you who are here. So here we go. The number one, no, I should say number one. It is not the number one. Your success is inevitable when you are no longer lost, unclear, and unfocused about what it is that you want to build. And I've talked about this for years and years and years. Even in my book, Shift into Rich, I talk about what does success look like for you. And more recently, I'm calling this your great big vision. Because when we know what our vision is for us, it is easier to figure out the how. Now, I want to share that previously, I had a journal and I journaled out what success looked like for me. And it was, this great big vision, but it didn't have some things in it. It didn't have tangibles in it for me. And I wasn't able to buy into that dream. So over the years, I have learned that For instance, if I want this year to be successful, what does success mean for me this year? So I remember a few years ago when we had just moved into this house, I said, success for me looks like this year making enough money to buy a new kitchen. And I went, that was it. That was what success looked like. And yes, I achieved it. Now, during COVID, I had some other revelations. And during COVID, I went, what does success look like for me at this new stage of my life? Because my husband has recently retired. So success looks a little different than it might have 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's okay because it's your success. So raise your hand here. Let me know in the comments. Do you have a written out plan, not a plan, but a vision for what you want success to look like this year, next year, maybe in 3 years? Let me know. Do you have a plan written out? And there's no shame if you don't. So just let me know. Say, hell yeah, or whoops, no. Okay, so success is really, really important for you to define what it is on your terms. Okay, so success is inevitable when you are no longer lost, unclear, or unfocused. Number two, your success is inevitable when, this is a big one, you no longer wallow in self-doubt and worry. You no longer allow your inner critic, or what I call your itty bitty shitty committee, to drive your actions and your decisions. And some people, in fact, my husband says, well, I don't have an itty bitty shitty committee. And I think that's, some people aren't aware of what that inner critic sounds like. For some people, they know, oh, that sounds like my mother. Or other people go, what are the words that that inner critic is saying to me? So if you're listening and you have an inner critic, let me know just by typing hashtag inner critic. And if you know if it's the voice of someone, just let me know who that voice is. Now, this is a topic that I could talk on forever, but I just want to share a couple of things from, as I said, this is really about me and where you see yourself. Maybe some of these things are appropriate for you. So when I started my coaching business, I kind of went, who the heck is going to hire me? Anybody ever felt like that? Who the heck is going to hire me? I'm not an expert, because I defined expert as being someone who had an MBA, someone who had a coaching certificate. I thought that meant that they were experts. But the truth of the matter is that I had more practical experience than most of those people. And so I let that lack of credentials, right, say to me that I wasn't worth being charging enough. My very first client was someone who had an MBA, but really had no idea how to grow a business. So credentials, not necessarily important. The other thing I want to talk about is the self-doubt and that inner critic. I'm not worth charging that money. Hey, welcome aboard, whoever is here. It's great to see you. Hashtag live or hashtag replay. And that inner critic impacted how much I charged. Okay. The second client was a financial advisor. And a financial advisor who had a growing, well-established business. I charged him $350 for private coaching 4 times a month. A bargain. a bargain because I now know that the value of that is like 10 times that. But because we are unsure, because we listen, or I listened more to my inner critic on this shoulder than I did to my inner wise woman on this shoulder, I undercharged tremendously. And still, even, and this is going to happen to everybody, as your business progresses, you're going to look back and go, oh my God, I so undercharged. But I can tell you right now, you're still undercharging. And I still find it. Okay. Clients that I work with, the first thing we do is raise your prices by 10%. Most of you could raise your prices by 20%. Because when people see the value that you are offering, it's not about the money. Okay. So your success is inevitable when you no longer wallow in self-doubt and worry and allow the inner critic to drive those decisions. Make sense? Awesome. Okay. Number three here is your success is inevitable when you stop worrying about your lack of money. Yeah. When we stop being desperate about closing a sale, stop being desperate about meeting a client, when we succeed when we get clear on the value for someone, what that value is, how does it change their life? And when we are clear on how it changes their life, or their business or their health or the relationships, and when we can explain it in such a way that they go, huh, MasterCard says, certain things are right. So the value of things is really important. What are your money numbers? Do you know your money numbers? What is it? What exact money numbers do you want each month? When you get clear, who has clear money numbers per each month? Say, I do. Clear money numbers for each month. Okay. And the thing is, this lack of self-belief, this lack of not being worthy, this lack of money shows up in things like my inner critic at one point was saying, I'm not good at sales conversations. Well, of course, when I say I'm not good at sales conversations, I'm not good at sales conversations. But I can change that self-belief and change the inner critic, not argue with it, just say, hey, I got this. I am getting better and better every day at sales conversations, right? That's when I got better at sales conversations. I want to share another example of how beliefs show up in your voice, your posture, and your actions. So when I think back to my first and second live events, they were called Shift. I remember my coach saying at the end of them, as we have a sort of a debriefing, that when I got to offer my program or to sell my program, she said my whole voice, my demeanor, my posture, everything changed about me. And I became this little wimpy little girl. And it took some time for me to figure out how I could show up and be that confident person and talking about the value of my programs on stage. And it wasn't, here's a mindset shift that I had to get over, it wasn't about selling. It was about how could I serve them better? How could I serve them better? And when I got that, then there was a whole difference when I came out on stage. My voice was strong, my posture, I stood my ground, right? Center stage, my actions. I didn't talk like this. I talked like Sorry, you can't see, big arms. Your beliefs impact all of those. So that's number 3. When you stop worrying about the lack of money and that being desperate to close sales. Yeah, we're number 4. When you work, your success is inevitable when you work smart on your terms instead of, type this in the chat, worrying about the competition. How many of you, maybe you do, maybe you don't, I was always looking on the internet at my competition, Googling who my competition was. Now, it is smart to know who your competition is, but stop worrying about them, right? Because nobody is your competition except you up here. Your competition, you want to be different than your competition. And that's why I help my clients differentiate their businesses through positioning. So stop worrying about your competition, but look at your own business. How are you different from your competition? How do you stand out as an authority in your field? What makes you different? Now I'm going to swear. What makes you so fucking good? What is it? When you know your strengths and you can play from your strengths, accentuate your strengths. Stop looking at your weaknesses. Accentuate your strengths. I know that I am 3 things. I am strategic. I'm extremely honest, too much so sometimes, and I'm all about taking action and implementing. That's what I do for my clients. So I want to share a little story. If you read my blog, you read about Cynthia this week. And Cynthia is a professional. And when she came to me, she was a generalist in her profession. And the more we started working together, I realized that she lit up when she could solve complex problems in her particular profession. And in fact, I finally discovered that she had a particular part of her profession that she worked in kind of as a hobby. Okay. Now, instead of being the generalist, we shifted her to being this specialist, where she was that puzzle solver in that particular niche. When she now talks to potential clients, she lights up and they go, oh my God, I got to work with you. That is where your conviction, your belief comes from, is to drill down and find out what you are good at. What is what is the thing that makes you different, and how can you position that so that you can stand out head and heels above your competition? Okay, number 5, your success is inevitable when you decide to take bold, courageous actions to achieve your goals, even though it feels uncomfortable, scary, and not quite right. And I want to talk about procrastination when it comes to this, because I believe that procrastination is fear. And so, any procrastinators here? Now, procrastination shows up by being a little different. Procrastination can be, oh, what's the busy work? It's easier to do than the hard work that's actually going to move my business forward. That can be procrastination. So are you just tweaking your website, or you're worrying about the colors, or, maybe it's taking me 3 days to write a blog? That's procrastination. You're not getting into the really good stuff that is going to move your business forward. And that's not taking bold and courageous action, right? So here's a question for you. What are you going to do before noon every day in your business to move your business forward? So I think it's Brian Tracy wrote a book called Eat That Frog. Eat that frog. Do that action that is scary, uncomfortable, whatever, before noon every day. It might be pick up the phone and call past clients. It might be doing a Facebook Live. Whatever it is that is uncomfortable, it's probably because you need to do it. So you can do it. Just do it every single day. Okay, number 3, your success is inevitable because you are no longer concerned about how you are going to grow and thrive, because you have a plan. You have a plan. You have a plan. 30 days, 90 days, a year. And I know some of you are, you're not planners, right? Not everybody is. But how do you know whether you're moving forward in your business? And one of the things, the way that you know that you're moving forward is to have some measurement. So, do you know those numbers that you need to move forward? Do you know what your income and expenses are every single month? And you'd be surprised how many women entrepreneurs of multiple 6-figure businesses, even 7-figure businesses, don't know their numbers. Well, if you don't know your numbers, you never know if you're moving forward. And you can't have any confidence, right? Because you just don't know what's going. Now, over the last couple of years, my numbers and my husband's business, they've been kind of intertwined. And so I never really knew kind of where I stood. And so I created my own little system. I'm going to share it with you. Here we are. It's very complicated. Okay, here's the month. Income, expenses. It's a blank sheet. I fill in. And at the end of the month, I go, okay, total it up, and away I go. It doesn't have to be complicated, ladies and gentlemen. But you need to know where you are. You've got to love your numbers. You got to love your numbers. And your numbers will tell you if you're getting closer to where you want to go. Your numbers will tell you every quarter, every 90 days, that strategic playbook, what's working and what is not working. Okay, so be sure to be measuring things. Number 7, your success is inevitable when you no longer fear shameless self-promotion. How many of you can easily say, I'm an expert at? And I asked that question in the Facebook group. And it's fine to type it out, but I know for so many women, it's really tough to say those words. So say them with me right now. I'm an expert at growth strategy. I'm an expert at marketing for small businesses. I'm an expert at. You've got to be able to say it. And when we are uncomfortable saying it, why should our clients believe in us? Why should our prospects believe in us if we can't say it? Okay. So where did this show up for me? Okay, now I'm always an action taker, you know this, but it shows up for me many, many times. So a recent example, 2 years ago, I started doing Facebook Lives. Some of you have heard this story before, but instead of turning the camera so that it faced me, I didn't want the camera to face me because I had a toque on, I didn't have my makeup on. But so what? People didn't care. And somebody said to me, Diana, stop hiding. Turned the camera around and people still watched. So you've got to have that conviction that you are the expert and that you can shamelessly promote yourself. So I'd like you to share in the comments here, maybe one thing where you feel that, oh, I just can't do that because I don't feel I can shamelessly promote myself. We're not talking about ego. We're talking about just you being the good, honest expert, the highly paid expert that you are. So share in the comments maybe one example of where this might be showing up for you. For me, my most recent example was at Facebook Live. Okay. All right. 2 more to go, guys. We got 8, 9. Oh, sorry, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Number 8, your success is inevitable when you remain open to change and reinvent your business as you need for growth. The skills that you need early in your business are not the skills that you will require down the road. And I know that some of you have seen my grow meter. I'm going to just share it with you quickly here in the background so that you get a sense of this, right? The skills that you need to take your business here in survival are not the skills that you're going to need in CEO mode. They're not. You have to learn new skills. Entrepreneurship is this journey that everything is always changing. It's always dynamic. And, you know, how are you changing your business? And I hear this from seasoned entrepreneurs very often. They go, but Diana, I redid my website like 5 years ago. Or there's some history in this logo and I really don't want to change it. But if you have moved from, glorified employee and you're up here making 6 and 7 figures, your clients, your prospects that you had when you were a glorified employee, your prospects that you have now as a CEO are probably not the same. They need to see you at a different level. They need to see you up leveling again. So be open to change. Be open to doing things differently. Is there a skill that maybe you need to up level? Does someone have a skill that they think they need to up level? I'd love to hear that in the comments. What skill? Is it like sales conversations you need to up level? I just did a training on sales conversations. I'm always up leveling skills in different things. So I'd love to hear what it is that you feel that perhaps it's time for you to up level. If you're an expert, maybe you need to claim that you're an expert on your website. Maybe you need to say it out loud. Maybe you need to raise your fees. Maybe you need to up level your branding. What is it that you need to up level to get that up level of success? Okay. So be open to change. Don't be, well, I've always done it this way, so I'm going to do it that way. That's a closed mindset as opposed to a growth mindset. All right, number 9. Your success is inevitable when you confidently make the right decisions quickly and effortlessly at your stage of business growth. Sometimes we think that I'm going to wait till I'm more confident. I'm going to wait till I feel more committed. I'm going to wait till I don't have this self-doubt. Waiting doesn't build confidence. Confidence comes from implementing, failing, retweaking, and implementing again. Because our brains actually are looking for evidence that things are right. And when they don't see this evidence of success, they go, oh, and the itty bitty shitty committee starts again. Excuse me. So, how do we give the brain the evidence of success to give us the confidence? We actually have to get up off our chairs, get out there and do things, implement, try it, and see if it's going to work. So, are there things that you've failed at? I want to tell you, let's take here, you've heard me talk about lead magnets. Do you know how many lead magnets I've created that have tanked? Do you know how many times I've stood on stage or spoken and never gotten a referral or booked a sales conversation? But didn't stop me from doing it again. I went out there again and again. Yeah, hell yeah. Right? We have to do things in order for us to know how to do them well and do them better. So failing fast forward is how we build confidence. And entrepreneurs need to make decisions, do it, and just, try it. Whether it's scary, whether it's uncomfortable. Number 10, shift in beliefs. Success is inevitable when you become a leader. Type this in the chat, a leader. And what I mean by a leader, and I don't, it doesn't mean that you have to lead employees or lead staff. It means that I'll use these terms, a sought after person of influence, a thought leader, a game changer, a highly paid expert. A leader is someone who inspires and motivates other people. Robin Sharma talks a lot about, he wrote a book called A Leader Without a Title. I love Robin Sharma, very inspirational. He says everybody should be a leader. And I believe he gives an example of a janitor. And he was going to do the best freaking job ever of being a janitor. That's being a leader in his own position. So each one of us, we have to believe that we are a leader, that we can inspire, that we can motivate, that we can transform other people. Because if we don't believe it, our prospects won't believe it. You need to know down in your soul level that you are a leader. And it starts by doing things. And it starts by listening more to your inner wise woman than it does to your inner critic. Know you're a leader. Know that you are someone who does something different. I know that nobody else talks about a grow meter. Nobody else talks about the marketing proficiency effect. And I know that helps me believe in myself because I know it. No one else. It's the truth. Okay? So that was number 10. The takeaways from today. Basically, there's 3 types of beliefs: negative, neutral, positive. As expected, negative beliefs, right, bring us negative outcomes if we allow it to drive our actions. And our actions come from our beliefs. So if we're going to change our outcomes, we have to change our beliefs. It's simple. But the first step is becoming aware. The first step is becoming aware that your inner critic could be driving your actions. So I'm going to challenge everyone here today. And I'm going to challenge you to watch this again. I know it's another half an hour, but I'd like you to pick 3 beliefs that you feel that you could focus on that would help you get to your success quicker. 3 beliefs that you could work on for the next 90 days. Which ones will those be? And I'd love to hear in the comments, maybe you already know a belief that you have to shift. So I challenge you to pick up 3 beliefs, become aware of them, and then we're going to talk about some other steps about how you can actually shift them. Okay? I know that each one of you can do it. So if I can support you in any way, please feel free to reach out. And, Diana at dianalidstone.com, your success is inevitable. Now, if you have trouble finding this to watch it again or recommend it to somebody else, you can always go to my YouTube channel and it will be posted there probably within, the next week or so. All of these videos are posted on my YouTube channel. Head over there, hit subscribe, and then you'll know exactly when these are going to come. I hope this has been beneficial for you. I know some of you came on a little late. Thank you so much for showing up and for participating. And again, it's hashtag live and hashtag replay if you were here. So that's it for this Thursday's training. Take care. Remember, you can do it. Bye for now.